loved his rusty old Comet bike. It had big tires and a dented fender, and it was perfect, except for the back gear axle. Every time he pedaled hard, the chain slipped, sending a shudder up his spine. "I just need to tighten this nut," he muttered, wrestling with a wrench that was slightly too big. He pulled, he shoved. He tried twisting the wrench backward, then forward, then he dropped it, sending it clattering onto the cement floor. "Why is it stuck?" he groaned, kicking at a loose pile of rags. He felt his face getting hot, the way it always did when something mechanical refused to obey logic. Just then, a shadow fell across the garage door. It was Mrs. Alara, who lived 2 houses down. She was known for wearing enormous sun hats and spending hours talking to her tomato plants. Oban knew she was kind, but he didn't think she knew much about gear axles. "Trouble, dear?" she asked, her voice soft, like tissue paper rustling. Oban shrugged, wiping grease off his forehead. "It's this lock nut. It's rusted fast. I need to get leverage, but if I push any harder, the whole axle might bend." Alara stepped closer, her wide hat nearly brushing the hanging tools. She didn't touch the bike, but she leaned in and observed the stubborn nut for a long moment. She didn't look like a mechanic, but she was looking at the metal like she understood its language. "Leverage isn't always about force, Oban," she said finally. "It's about patience and making the metal remember it's supposed to move." She reached into her little woven basket and pulled out a tiny, thin glass vial filled with a dark, oily liquid. "A few drops of my memory oil, it's mostly olive oil and thyme, right into the threads," she instructed. "Then you tap it very gently 3 times with the back of the wrench. Not to break it, but to wake it up." Oban looked skeptical, but he was out of ideas. He tapped, tap, tap, tap. Then he fitted the wrench onto the nut and applied the lightest pressure he could manage. Instead of fighting him, the lock nut gave way with a soft, satisfying creak. Oban gasped. The nut turned, smooth and obedient. "It worked. How did you know that would work?" Oban tightened the nut until the chain was perfectly aligned. He looked up at Alara, whose face was already turning back towards the sunlit garden. "Oh, Oban," she replied, adjusting her wide sun hat. "When you spend enough time coaxing a tomato vine to produce fruit, you learn that everything, even metal, responds better to kindness and attention than to brute force." He smiled. He had fixed his bike, but he had also learned something about where wisdom truly comes from.